Hey y'all, it is March. I don't know, the first and second. I don't know. I'm all disoriented, and I just woke up, and I don't know what's going on. Like as far as streaming, I don't have the slightest clue. Am I doing it right now? I don't know. I really don't know. Am I on the internet? Am I wasting my time? There's hardly any way for me to know. I don't know. Looking at an article right now. And oh shit, it says that I got two people in the thing. I couldn't tell you. I really don't know. Maybe I do. Uh, if y'all exist, who's to say? But see, now it says zero. And that really doesn't matter all that much. Whether or not people are here live, because I know I didn't let people know. What matters is whether or not this is on the damn internet, which I've been trying to do for maybe half an hour with a couple different apps. Alright, and I'm about to cut off this stream just to make sure if it's working or whatever. Oh, okay, it is working. Deb, I see that you're there. What are you seeing and hearing? Is it anything worthwhile? Like, is there any sort of good connection? You know? Can you hear me? Are you even Deb? Are you a robot? I don't know. The whole thing is very frustrating. Right? Not only is the stream itself kind of frustrating, alright, the technology having to do with it, but see, I just got in here. Good connection. Oh my gosh. Now I got the pressure on me. Now I got a good connection. Alright, well, I mean, if we're already here, and we got a good connection, I don't know, might as well go for it. I wonder if y'all notice when my screen dims like that. I mean, I assume y'all see everything that I'm seeing. I gotta keep playing with the screen with my thumb in order to make it not go dead on me. I don't know how any of this works. Alright. I hope I didn't just... Anyways, okay, y'all see what I'm looking at, right? The two of y'all that are in there, thank you for joining me. Speak up, whoever is here, but I gotta pick up Steve. Alright, well, safety first and everything. Tell Steve I said hello. I don't know about the audio, so I gotta speak up. But, I don't know, like if I plug in a mic right now, I don't know if that will totally melt down my whole thing right now. Alright. While Deb's picking up Steve, I don't know who else is in the live stream. I don't know how any of this works. And Lord knows it's not helping me none. Figure it out. I don't know. It says that I'm live. Been here for 5 minutes doing nothing. Later, Gator. I got a flag. Oh, shoot. Okay, so we both got flags. Hey, I'll see you later. But the thing is, yeah, I got a flag too. And so damn busy today, but hopefully tomorrow I'll get to running with the flag, and I'll holler at you tomorrow. Thing is, I got a GoPro, and I know Deb has to go, but I do have plans for tomorrow. Hopefully to get to running some and with the flag and stuff. All right, so that's a total another issue. It says I have 3 people in the chat. I don't know what that means. Thank you, Deb. I know it's gonna get pretty cool and stuff. See, y'all don't know yet, but the thing is, there's an electricity that gets built up. It's a whole big vibe of togetherness whenever you run around with a flag, and you wouldn't believe it, but it really is. I mean, I guess you would believe it, but you wouldn't believe how extreme it is. It's pretty extreme. Alright. Gosh, we're looking at this article, and I wanted to read through it. I read through it earlier. Alright, and this is breaking news as I typically cover. I wish I could speak up. I really can't speak up. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to find the best connection without waking people up and stuff like this. It's a terrible situation I got here, but hopefully y'all can hear me pretty dang well. Or well enough. I really don't know. Alright, I might be doing this for no reason. Deb sounded like she said that she could hear me at least a little bit. I don't know what any of that means, but let's go ahead and dive into the article because I have to get out of here soon anyways. Very busy. Anyways, racial rift emerges over Parkland shooting and Superintendent Robert Runcie. I don't know how much of this I'm going to read. I've already read the whole article, but as far as reading it online, reading it live, I do want to read some of it, right? Because it is breaking. You probably haven't seen this. And I do want to read some of it. It's a terribly long article, and it's total garbage. Hot, wet garbage. Megan O'Mats and Scott Travis, you could expect nothing more than that. Than complete, utter gibberish. And that's what they gave you. That's what they gave me today. Alright? I don't know who's here with me, but God bless y'all. We've been given some garbage, right? I don't know. I'll take the comments off. Alright. If y'all got comments, they should pop up on my screen. I don't know if they'll pop up on your screen, but let's read a little bit of it. Let's see how far we can get through it. Alright, just to let you know, they're going to take this whole situation. Let's read the headline, alright? Racial rift emerges over Parkland shooting and Superintendent Robert Runcie. Before we get into it, the deal is Robert Runcie has black skin. And I wish it was more complex than this, but it isn't, alright? The whole idea behind this article is Robert Runcie has black skin, and because he does, that means he's a victim. That means that all sort of white people are out to get him. Alright? And literally that's what the article's about. Alright? It's completely over the top disgusting. Alright? And it's meant to create some sort of conflict. That's the whole point. It's the whole point of it. So let me go ahead and read some of it. They grieved with Parkland and the county and the nation. Who's they? Who cares? Who knows? This person sucks at writing. They mourn the senseless loss of 17 souls. It's like, oh God. The 17 souls terminology makes me want to wring my own neck. It's ridiculous. Alright? Everybody gets so spiritual and religious when they're talking about these people, but don't nobody want to talk about God anyways. I mean, it's very disgusting. They mourn the senseless loss of 17 souls at the school, supported tougher security measures, and cheered on teens pushing for gun reform. Alright? These teens pushing for gun reform, by the way, have been wildly unsuccessful. Alright? I don't know how you can deny this. How can you still deny this? Alright, so, gosh, let's see how far we can get in this dang article. But now that the movement for accountability after the 2018 massacre has focused on ousting the highly educated, hardworking, that's right, Jamaican-born schools chief, many in Broward County's African American community are saying, no, stop, enough. Before we go on any further, I don't believe racism exists. And I know that's controversial, but I believe that hatred exists, alright? You can call it whatever you want. You can waste everybody's time if you want. Alright, this is what's happening. And so because this guy happens to have black skin, that's it. Don't attack him. Do not mention his total neglect of everything involved in his job. Alright? The reason why? He's got black skin. He's born in Jamaica. You get it? He's invincible. And don't ever mention a word about him. Okay? So that's what these... By the way, in black churches, you understand where this is going. And they used to, back when this whole thing started, Nicholas Cruz was accused of being a white supremacist. And as we read through this article, you're gonna, who has the slightest clue to include Robert Runcie? An email from a school district department head went out urging attendance and accusing Runcie's detractors of using vile language. What is that language? I don't know. They're not going to talk about it. Vile language, not seen since desegregation orders were enforced. What on earth are they talking about? All right. The thing is, we can't even try to look too much further in it because, like I explained in the beginning, this article has nothing to do with anything except for race, except for the most retarded common denominator of skin color. That's the only thing this article has anything to do with. Nothing else. All right. And drumming up animosity. Hundreds of people of color responded. People of color. These terminologies are so disgusting and retarded. Right? And I'll slap somebody in the face for saying that in front of me. I really will. Because I can't take it no more. Hundreds of people of color responded. Oh, okay. Well, that's must. They're people of color, right? That must be how they think. That must be how they vote. That must be how they eat. That must be what kind of music they listen to. It is so retarded. Hundreds of people in color responded, packing Monday's meeting in Coral Springs and publicly objecting to the campaigns to demonize them. Quote, demonize them. Nobody's saying, oh, Robert Runcie's a demon, right? The people across the nation and throughout Parkland, they're saying he sucks at his job, right? And he needs to be removed from his job. Nobody's saying he's a demon from out of Hades, all right? Nobody's saying it. So, at least 2 historically black churches delivered buses. Churches, by the way, black churches. Which, honestly, I don't know that these churches exist, but it's disgusting. Right? So they delivered buses full of people to the meeting held in the auditorium. At J.P. Tarabella High School, an overflow crowded the cafeteria. Like, most of this is fluff. I know I'm reading this, and it's just like, who cares about any of this? I don't know. But the whole thing is made into a black thing. As you can see the picture and everything. Oh, this is a racial divide. It's not. It's a school shooting. Allegedly. But now it's a big racial thing. We still have confidence in you, Mr. Runcie, says Marsha Ellison with the big afro and stuff. All pride and power and everything. Let's segregate ourselves. Let's hate each other. And let's just look at each other's skin color. And that's it. See, I don't want to read the rest of this. I mean, you're seeing the words that I'm going through, right? All right, you understand. The African American community feels like we're getting just to the breaking point. It's like, what on earth are these people talking about? People are so eager to believe anything negative when it comes to a person of color. This is goddamn ridiculous. All right, I can't even read it anymore. I honestly, I'm about to go blind. I can't read it anymore. Don't say anything that I want. Man, I don't know anything, Bart. I don't know anything that I could say that you won't. To be honest, but oh my gosh. Like, thank you for joining me, by the way. I can't be on for too much longer. Because I gotta get to work, but, you see what this article is, right? I don't know that I can read any more of these words. You see what this is, right? The black community. Oh, black people. Oh, we're so segregated. We gotta segregate each other. Well, thank you, Bart. But you see what this is, all right? Don't criticize Runcie. Why? Why? His skin pigmentation. That's why. Don't ever do it. And it's disgusting. Like I said, this is written by white people. All right. And basically, if you're not getting the point, it's meant to divide people. It's meant to be very divisive, this article. And retarded. It is very retarded. All right. But in this article, which I can't even hardly read no more, okay, if you were to read it, it's going to go over a few details. All right. The main point is these people are black and other people are white, and so they must hate each other. All right. But it will go over some details to include that Robert Runcie, who I don't have a full background on every single person from Parkland. It's kind of overwhelming. Play the race card to silence criticism. That's exactly what this is, with no shame. All right, it's over the top, and this article is one of many that are just like it. But this one just came out today. It says, "Look at his skin color. That means don't question a thing that he ever has done in his life." All right, but what I wanted to point out is that Robert Runcie, here's a detail I didn't know. Robert Runcie, before he got into office over there on the what he's doing as superintendent in 2011, this article says it. Before he got in 2011, and immediately started squandering every opportunity to keep the school safe. I mean, every opportunity. Squandered it. All right, immediately. I mean, in 2012, the article says it. You know, he got like for the school, what was it, $80 million. $80 million in order to make improvements to the schools and stuff, make them more secure. He immediately started squandering every opportunity. All right, since 2012 or 2011 when he got in office, all the way up until the dang shooting, which was what, 6 years later. He had 6 years to do something, didn't do shit. All right, but it's okay. But don't question him, because he got black skin. We're gonna bust in all sort of people who are black, specifically just cause they're black. All right, and we're gonna make it a big spectacle, and that's what they did. And that's what they're doing currently. All right, but like I said, Robert Runcie, before he got into office, according to this article, and I didn't even know, historically he comes from Chicago, in which he did all sort of stuff, and that's right, I said it, Chicago. All right, so go ahead and question Robert Runcie's agenda right now. All right, you can't say the word Chicago without it setting off a million red flags in my brain right now. So that's where he comes from. Yeah, that's right, Obama land. All right, he came in, immediately started doing just a terrible job. You couldn't even think of a worse job. All right, so he absolutely makes a mockery of his position, and now it don't matter. It don't even matter how many people get killed. It don't even matter that the Parkland in general, the Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School at least, it has been absolute chaos. Does not even matter. Nothing matters. Doesn't matter that it's still a pretty, I guess you'd say, violent place. I mean, I come from a high school where it used to be fights almost every day as well, but this is a violent place. Right? Doesn't matter that Robert Runcie himself he came directly from Chicago. So, if you can even believe it, and immediately started implementing for example, the Promise program, which that got. Well, a lot of people, they're conflating it. They're saying, okay, well, it gets minorities to not get in trouble. All right, I want to be more specific before we get out of here. The Promise program, and I'm sorry that we're looking at nothing in gibberish and everything, but I don't even know what we're looking at. The Promise program, what it's meant to do specifically, is because I don't hear it expressed all that much. What it's meant to do specifically, because of Broward County and Parkland, is meant to, if like children get caught with drugs, like say they're drug dealers, if they get caught with maybe like a little bit of drugs, what it makes it happen is they don't get in trouble. No, like this doesn't get taken to the police, right? And they're specific about it. They say, so long as it's not a violent confrontation or whatever, the police are not contacted. and they'll say it over and over. They say if it's non-violent, well, we sweep it under the rug. What that means is, like I said, if they get caught with drugs and the whole county and surrounding areas is swimming in drugs, all right? And I gotta let you know, the students are the drug dealers, in case if you didn't know, all right? So when they get caught with some amount of drugs, all right, nothing happens. The school takes care of it. It's swept under the rug. They have a big delay on their video cameras, by the way, in case if you didn't know, for no reason. All right, so that's exactly what's being done here. And the thing is, Broward, like I said, is setting records at how much drugs they deal. If you listen to any of the rappers or quote music artists that come from Broward, they're consistently always talking about slanging drugs or doing drugs and getting away with it. This is what the Promise program did specifically on purpose. All right, and then before we get out of here, I want to bring up Nicholas Cruz, who, by the way, I mean, some people don't even mention his name anymore, even though everybody knows his name. It doesn't matter if you mention it or not; everybody knows what it is. All right, but they talk about Nicholas Cruz, and when he first got allegedly caught up for this, right? They tried to charge him with being a white supremacist, literally, over all sort of untold national publications, you guys. They tried to call Nicholas Cruz a white supremacist. In this very article, and I've seen it many times, they also say, okay, Nicholas Cruz, he slipped through the cracks. Because, why? Why? Because of the Promise program. And because he's a minority. Can anybody tell me? I know they're going to say, oh, his last name. They're going to say, oh, his last name. First of all, he's adopted. Can you tell me how he's a minority and a white supremacist? And it doesn't matter what any of these publications say. They're just they're gonna say whatever comes to their mind. All right. I don't think Nicholas Cruz did what they're alleging. I barely think he's capable of doing what they're alleging. All right. But it's become a whole big race thing, and it was a race thing since day one. No matter what's, see, that's the thing, man. You know, a lot of people want to discuss whether or not people were killed at Parkland. Some people don't think that anybody was killed. All right. I happen to believe, from what I've seen, that people actually did get killed, but that's not even the question. All right. Unfortunately, it's not even the question. See, Bart said you just hit it out of the park with the Promise program. The Promise program has everything to do with everything about Parkland. In fact, you might as well not even focus on anything else. This was all part of the game. This was built up into an environment that's extremely violent and chaotic, and it was done on purpose by design. All right, and then they use the Promise program, like I said, they say, oh well, Nicholas Cruz fell through the cracks because of the Promise program, and he was off doing all these things, and they accuse Nicholas of doing all these things that he may or may not have even done. Right? Say he's a white supremacist. And meanwhile, the environment is still just as unsafe as it always was over there at Marjory Stoneman Douglas. All right. The guy who implemented this whole thing, like I said before we get out of here, is from Chicago. He might as well be Obama's damn twin. All right. This all has the blessings from Obama. All right. This is... I mean, not only Obama and Runcie, you better make sure there isn't a bomb in your car before you start it. You know, we're at the point that I hope that there is a bomb in my car when I start it. We're really at this point, like, just because, how much worse can it get? They're taking this situation that would, we know we've been lied to about it all over the place, and they're making it into a black and white thing like you wouldn't believe. Like, it's just unbelievable. I'm not gonna. I'm not serious about killing myself. It's one of those things that is just like you sit back and think to yourself, "Am I going insane right now, Or am I just imagining things? Alright? Are these people trying to drum up some total retardation on us? Are they trying to put us, look, promise program, signature promise program. You see that in red? Mm-hmm. Alright, and it's so weird. You're gonna find so many things in this article. I can't even go over it all. Like I said, I'm not gonna read it because it's so frustrating that I want to go insane. I want to. But it mentions all sort of weird things. Like, for example, 68% of children in the Promise program are black. That's what it mentioned. Like, are we all concerned? Are we all concerned about it? But it mentions all sort of things, like how a whole bunch of, let's just say 40% of the students at Parkland are African American. Like it even matters, and it doesn't. All right, and then they go on to say, well, 80% of the population in Parkland is white. It's like, how does this even make sense? Where are all the children coming from? What's going on here? How come? How come drugs are basically being promoted? How come segregation is basically being promoted here? And whatever y'all do, don't you dare say anything about Runcie was doing a bad job. Why? Because he's from Jamaica. He's got black skin. All right? Comes from Chicago. Implements a promise program. Doesn't ever take responsibility at all, ever. I don't know what else. I don't know what else to say about all this, but it's just on face value. It is what it looks like. That's about it. And they're trying to literally drum up race war, which is what they've been doing for years. All up in our faces. And yeah, it does come from Chicago. All right? These people are... They're... And I'm not saying black people, but to include this, people who wrote the article. Everyone who's emphasizing these sentiments are retarded beyond redemption. All right, there is no redeeming these people, unfortunately. The tangent that they've gone on is unbelievable. Before I get out of here, we're gonna get out of here right now. If y'all want to say goodbye or whatever and stuff, that's cool. But I gotta get out of here and start going to work. But the final message, the little icing that I want to put on top, the little cherry, it's like I said, these people are retarded beyond redemption. And I don't put this lightly. They are menaces to society, and one way or another we need to remove them from society. All right. That's the most simplest way to put it. If you think that I'm thinking of saying kill them or put them in prison, I'm not saying anything. I'm saying they need to get out of here, because if we let them continue to do what they're doing, this goes out specifically to Megan O'Mats and Scott Travis. If we're to let you continue to do what you're doing, what you're doing is going to lead to all sort of death and mayhem. You're a menace to society. You shouldn't be allowed to leave your dang house. Right? You shouldn't be allowed to write articles because it's so unbelievable. And you're so disgusting. All right? And God has justice for you, and it's coming. Not from me. I wish you all the best. I wish you a very long life, longer than my own life. All right? Justice coming for you, and ain't nothing you could do about it. Y'all sealed your own fate. Sealed your own fate with this. Anyways, I'll holler at y'all, and I appreciate all y'all out there. I'm all worked up. I'm gonna have to holler at y'all later. Hopefully I can get some stuff done this weekend. There's so much stuff. There's so many angles. That's really the hardest part of this documentary, is that there's so many angles that you'll want to lie down and go to sleep. It's overwhelming. Anyways, I'll holler at y'all, and I appreciate y'all. This is the end.